Hi there, this is Zelna Lauwrens, founder of the Kids Life Studio. So this is my first Facebook Live on this Kids Life Studio global group, and you'll be seeing me on a regular basis, bringing lots of interesting facts, training, and research to your doorstep. So today's topic is about how to juggle family life. Now, I know that a lot of schools in South Africa and other parts of the world that start in January have gone back, which means you as parents are probably juggling many balls in the air trying to do all sorts of things. Now, I've got a couple of tips for you to make things a whole lot easier when it comes to juggling family responsibilities and still having fun, because ultimately what children want is just to have a calm, peaceful family life. Just like you as a parent, you want children that listen, you want children that comply, you want children who do their homework, eat their vegetables. Those things are really easily achieved if you put the foundation in place. So I'm going to give you some tips today on how to actually do that. But first of all, if you go and have a look at this Facebook page, you will see that I've added a link to a free family balance assessment. You can access that on our website, www.kidslifestudio.com. And you can do this free family balance assessment to see where you're at so far in 2017. Because 2017 is always, or at the beginning of every year, it's a good time for you to set goals for your family. So, the tips I was speaking about on how to juggle family life and still have fun. Well, as the founder of the Kids Life Studio and with the global network of coaches around the world, there are certain things that we implement when we coach children. Now, we don't do parenting skills or parenting workshops, but what we do is we coach children to take responsibility for their own lives. And this can start as young as age 4, age 5, all the way up and hopefully up into the teenage years. So what are the things that we ask children to do? Well, we ask them to become the leaders of their own life. Easier said than done? Well, actually, once you pass responsibility on to children, they will feel empowered to do more and be more. So, tip number 1 for family balance: have you allocated roles in your family? Does every family member, no matter how young or how old, do they know what their responsibilities are? And this could be linked to chores in the family, small things or big things. Once children understand their part in their family, they can then perform up to those expectations. So if you haven't as yet, sit down, have a family meeting where you can actually discuss the roles in your family. Just like any good boss of a company would hold board meetings or meetings with their staff, you need to do the same with your family on a weekly basis. Have a family meeting to make sure that you establish those roles and that you're all happy with those roles and take responsibility for them. So that's tip number 1, to juggle family life and still have fun. Once you all know your roles, automatically things will become smoother and easier. Tip number 2, establish a routine. Now, you know this. Routine is what children look for. When children do not have a routine in place, what happens is they become confused. As simple as that. There's no complicated psychology behind it. If we don't know the rules, we cannot play by those rules. So you need to provide a routine for your child in your home that is associated with your expectations. So let's start with a morning routine, which is usually the trickiest time for parents who want their children to wake up, get out of bed, get ready for school, brush their teeth, eat their breakfast, get in the car, get their school books ready. There's so many things to do. So decide on that routine in the morning with your child and make sure that they understand the routine. And if you need to, with younger children, what you can do is actually create a chart. And that chart can then have allocated pictures of what the child needs to do in that routine until it becomes a habit. What you can also do is download some very useful apps where children race against a timer for particular tasks they need to complete in the morning. But my suggestion to you, and what we coach children to do, myself as a world-class kids life coach and my team of global kids life coaches, we actually like to implement a morning wake-up routine. So you can get your child in the morning, first thing, especially your child if they're very grumpy when they wake up in the morning, get them to give gratitude, to name 3 things that they are grateful for, because immediately they're setting their mind up for success for the rest of the day. And this is a success habit that you can implement that becomes part of their routine. Another thing that you can do is, if there is enough time, you can send your child on a mind holiday where they visualize their day ahead. It needs to take 2 or 3 minutes, no longer than that, where they actually visualize what it is they want to achieve for the day, especially in the case of children who feel overwhelmed with tests, exams, sports, juggling a lot of things, which is a topic of this Facebook Live, and actually visualize what's going to happen in the day. So that tip then is to establish a wake-up routine. Now, what about establishing a bedtime routine? So your child should have an established go-to-bed time every evening, and this should only fluctuate in extreme cases or on the case of it being a weekend where a special privilege is allowed for your child to stay up a little later. So how do you know how many hours sleep your child is supposed to have? Well, simply put, your child needs to have a minimum of 9 hours sleep, depending on their ages, okay? So I've given you some tips today on how you can juggle family life and still have fun. So the first one was to make sure everybody understands their roles in the family. The second one is to make sure that you have a family routine. Now, let's get to the fun part. How do you have fun while still as a parent trying to enforce all of these routines and habits and roles in the family? Well, what you need to do is make time for fun. Just like you would schedule a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment, you would need to schedule family fun time in your diary. Now, family fun time doesn't have to cost money. All it needs is time. And you can do the simplest of things, such as playing a board game every night just before bedtime, instead of watching TV or mindlessly looking at social media on phones. Playing a simple game. The other thing you can do for fun is create family traditions. Now, a family tradition is something that you have that is really unique and personal to your family. And when that family tradition actually gets implemented, it is a fun way to really bond and connect with your family. Because when the responsibilities of day-to-day living overwhelm families, what happens is a drop in routine, a lack of responsibility and accountability for family roles. So you want to keep your family on a nice even keel, sharing time together. Now, on that word time, a lot of parents that I work with or that I coach their children complain that they don't have enough time. Well, you know what? Like I said, schedule that time in. 5 minutes with your child to them is like 5 hours. You need to also establish your child's language of love. What is it they need from you in their time? So establish how you're going to connect with your children. And also try and make time for each child on their own if you possibly can. And I know for some families who have 6 children, this can be a bit of a challenge, but it is important at least once a month to schedule special time with one child at a time where you have fun together. Now, here's a little secret about how to have fun with your children. And I know you probably do this already, so I'm trying to convert the converted. And if you are, well done. But you know what? Tap into your own inner child. Get down and dirty with your children. Be silly, play, laugh, and have fun. It's not always about disciplining. One of the things I hear often from mothers especially is that they are left with the task of having to discipline the children, feed the children, get them ready for school, so there is no time for fun. Well, I say dads need to step up, give mum some time out so that everybody can have some fun together. One of the easiest ways to do that is to eat dinner together around the table. That one simple action of one meal a day around the table can really connect the family, where you can tell jokes, you can laugh, share your day. These are all things that really are falling by the wayside in modern day lives. And if you do eat dinner around the table with your family, I want to congratulate you, because that is really one of the cornerstones for juggling family life and knowing what is actually happening in your child's life, to make sure that those lines of communication are open and that your child will always come to you with problems in future. So I'm Zelna Lauwrens, founder of the Kids Life Studio, and I have a global network of kids life coaches who have done my certification and who coach children to become the leaders of their own life. So you're welcome to visit our website on www.kidslifestudio.com to do our free family balance assessment to see how you're doing so far in 2017 with juggling family life and still having fun.